Hey guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you will not regret it. And if you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I appreciate the support. Guys, listen, I'm going to give a brief update about the arrest of 28-year-old Detroit resident Kenneth Davis Jr. Now, if you guys are not familiar with this guy and you're not familiar with this channel, Kenneth Davis Jr. is the guy that was allegedly caught up and arrested yesterday or the day before yesterday in Detroit after a sexual assault of an 80-year-old woman. And now he's been linked to another assault of a 65-year-old woman just 1 week before. Now, I come to find out that man is 28 years old, and I'm about to play a press clipping that came out today that details even more about how the community was dead center in trying to stop this man and coming together with the police to get him apprehended, and the terror this man struck in the city of Detroit, Michigan. So without further ado, we're going to jump in this and we're going to come back and talk about it. Let's roll it.
And to other news now, a Detroit man facing charges for allegedly sexual assaulting two women in separate attacks. New surveillance video shows the man just minutes before he allegedly assaulted one of the women near her home. Today, that suspect, 28-year-old Kenneth Davis, facing a judge. The alleged attacks happening a week apart and less than 1 mile from one another. 7 Action News reporter Sarah Michaels spoke with neighbors on Grand River Avenue about what happened on their block.
The women who live on this street tell me that minutes before Davis allegedly sexually assaulted a 64-year-old woman, they have footage of him walking down their street in front of their homes, just like this.
Sure enough, I'm leaving work at 5:01. There he goes strolling down the street at 5:06.
Just 5 minutes after Josephine Walls left her house early Monday morning, her home security camera footage shows sexual assault suspect Kenneth Davis walking down their street. You had to be terrified.
Very terrified, sick to my stomach.
Neighbors say Josephine and her dog Stony are the A1 neighborhood security team. After she learned what happened, Josephine got to work, knocking on every woman's door on this primarily female block to let them know.
Me and my doggy, we be up, we be watching, we be patrolling the street.
No, they're fine. They're fine.
She looks out for all of us, but that's what it takes to make a community safe.
The community response played a major role in police finding 28-year-old Davis the next day. On Thursday, he was charged with multiple counts of criminal sexual conduct and 1 count of home invasion for allegedly sexually assaulting an 80-year-old woman outside her home on March 26 and a 64-year-old woman behind a building at the end of Grand River here on April 3rd.
Absolutely relieved. We did not feel safe just leaving our own home at some point.
Josephine tells me Tuesday police towed away a vehicle at the end of this street that it's suspected Davis may have been living in.
Maybe he'd been in this neighborhood longer than we thought he had been in the neighborhood, but just hadn't decided to strike yet.
In court Thursday, the judge denied pretrial release for Davis, saying he's a danger to the public. While the women who live here tell me they're relieved, they're not letting their guard down, saying they're sticking together and looking out for one another.
We're not just going to lock ourselves up in our houses and run away. We're going to live.
Me and Stony, we be on it.
As for what's next for the suspect, Kenneth Davis, his probable cause conference is scheduled for April 18th. Reporting in Detroit, I'm Sarah Michaels for 7 Action News.
All right, guys, and we're back. That was a news clip. Excuse me. And you've seen that they didn't get this man no bond because he's a threat and a danger in the community. And they shouldn't. You know, honestly, I think something's wrong with the man. I mean, it sounds foregone after, him, the crime and stuff they said he did. But think about this, guys. Who attacked somebody older than their mother's mother? And in a violent, sexual way. I don't know if he had a vendetta against older people or he was looking for an easy target. Either way, the stuff is still messed up, and we talked about that already. But a couple of things I wanted to show. That street that lady was attacked was a predominantly what? Older women's street. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I know if he knew that or not? No, but you see how he walks up and down the street. They said he might have been living in the van that they just towed away. You know what I'm saying? So he might, like, that goes to one of my conclusions of me thinking that he was homeless. And He was just hard up for food and all that. Because like nobody goes in anybody's house and asks for food and money unless they have some type of displacement going on. Either way, they said, you know, I don't want to use that word, but they said that he R-worded a 65-year-old woman, right? A week before or a week later. Either way, they said he pulled the lady behind the building or the lady was behind the building. What kind of shit is you on? What is this, like the 70s, the early 80s, where the guy had the stocking on his head and he would pull people behind the thing and get blasted by Charles Bronson of Dirty Harry in those stupid movies? It's like the stupidest things, man. But the bottom line is this. The man is behind bars. Honestly, I don't think jail time is enough. But you know, I say some old far-fetched stuff, but I'll be serious about that. Everybody in that neighborhood, they need to strip him butt-ass naked, wet him up with a water hose, and every old woman in that community need to take turns kicking his ass, all that fear he caused and hysteria in that neighborhood. And it said, you heard what it said, and I want you guys to pay attention. The community, hear that word? Community was pivotal in bringing this guy to justice. That's admirable. You know, besides the differences between the police and, you know, the community, they put that behind them to work towards a common goal. Like I said in other videos before, this is things that we need to do. Sometimes it's a greater enemy other than what we think is in front of us, or a greater reality, shall I say. Now, I don't know what's going to happen to Mr. Kenneth Davis Jr. while he's in jail or anything like that. But you see, they gave him charges of, you know, sexual misconduct, and a bunch of other charges. He not getting out no time soon. This is another thing, reason why I think he's kind of crazy. I don't know if it's this news clip I just showed, but I've been watching news clips on him all day. He was standing up there with the mask on his face and just standing there looking around and, you know, just weird. Like his behavior was weird. That lady came out of her house 5 minutes after that man. Minutes before he assaulted that other woman. Did you see how she came out? Did you see how she was walking? That guy could have did anything to her. And you know, a lot of people that are goofy in the head, you know, they don't care if it's street lights out there. If he's assaulting people, pulling them behind buildings and stuff, he's a young man, 28 years old, look like he got some size on him. I mean, he's skinny, look like he might have some strength. What's a 65 to 80-year-old woman going to do match the strength of a testosterone of a man in his prime if he covers her mouth? So, I mean, thank God nothing happened to this lady or anybody else. Now, it's unfortunate that things did happen to the 80-year-old resident and the 65-year-old resident. And that type of crime against somebody is usually like a hate crime. That's why I say I don't understand what his agenda was. Because when somebody, see, a lot of guys don't understand this. Now, I've been around people that have been raped before. And it's a total violation of your life. It's something that's embedded in your consciousness. It affects your love life and your relationships moving forward a lot of times. And rape to me of an adult is just same as molestation to a child. The psychological ramifications are still the same. It's something you never forget, and you always have in the back of your mind, can you trust this person of the opposite sex or someone like that person that did that to you? Man, my thoughts and prayers are with the victims. And I'm just glad that the community came together, which is admirable, with the police to get this asshole off the street. Hopefully he'll stay off the street and he'll get his justice both in jail, you know, and in the courtroom. But as always, gotta leave me a comment, man. This guy walking the street like it's nothing. If he had a van and he knew he was, that's another thing. If you had a van and like you knew people was looking for you, ain't no way you didn't know. After the community activist chased you, you know you did something wrong. Okay, let me just up and move. No, he didn't do that. Insanity. But it's a good thing he didn't because he got caught. But as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.